Hi guys, Jeff Gamble, Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm really excited to have partnership with Monica Lee. I actually met her through a lead system we have, and she lives over here on the east side of Indianapolis. We were able to connect with her, showed her what we were doing, and she was like, yeah, absolutely, this makes sense. So we just need a huge favor from you. We actually want to share with you what we're doing, so if you happen to run into the right person, you have the ability to refer them to us. The subject matter is actually credit repair, and the reason credit repair meant so much to me when I actually took a look at this is I basically made every financial mistake you could make growing up. At 19, while I was in college, I decided to get married. From there, about 6 months later, decided to go self-employed. Went home and told my mom, who's a school teacher, and my dad, who's a college professor, that I was going to quit school and go into business for myself. You can imagine how well that conversation went. It did not go well. They were pissed. And they were actually, gave me all kinds of warnings. And one of the warnings actually happened about 6 months after I had this conversation with them. I had gone into the doctor. I was sick and went to another doctor that doctor sent me to. That doctor sent me to a specialist, and the specialist did some tests and came back and said, unfortunately, you have cancer. So we're going to have to get this treated right away. And I went through 2 surgeries. I went through 6 months of chemotherapy. I went from 165 pounds to 106 pounds, which is a great weight loss program, but not the good way to do it. And the good news is I made it. I made it through it. But the bad news is I owed it. I owed all of it. All the surgeries, all the chemotherapy. It was like $250,000 in debt coming out of the hospital. So I decided not to throw in the towel. I didn't want to file bankruptcy and quit. What I decided to do is I was like, where can I make the most money? So I looked, and real estate seemed to be the way everybody was making money. I kept watching Charlton Sheets on TV, No Money Down. So I got that course, and I started buying properties without credit and without money. I was actually able to buy 18 properties in 36 months using wholesaling, using subject to contracts, using rent-to-buys and lease-to-buy programs, and we started doing really, really well. I actually, from there, started a real estate company, Meridian Street Realty Group. We started selling new homes here in Indianapolis, and that was also going well. I started bringing on a team of people and put together about 15 people, and everything looked great. I was able to get the house I wanted. It was, 4-bedroom, 2,800 square feet, 2-car garage, new car in the garage, the white picket fence, corner lot. I mean, everything that supposedly is success. And then 2007 and 8 happened. I went from having everything to losing everything in about 6 months. Mortgage companies started going out of business. Realtors started, going out of business. I got a phone call from one of the builders we were working with, and the builders were like, we're no longer going to be in business. Those 9 commissions that we owe you aren't going to happen. And at that point in my life, I was actually needing to make $27,000 a month just to break even. It was ugly, really ugly. And within 6 months, it collapsed. At that point, I found myself in front of an attorney. Basically with a stack full of paperwork. I handed him everything that I had, everything that I owed, everything that I knew about, along with we pulled my credit, which was terrible. And he's like, look, we added it all up and you owe just about $3 million. And unfortunately, there is no payment plan for $3 million. So you have the following 3 choices. Number 1, you can get on a plane and fly somewhere. We can't find you, which actually sounded really good at that point. But number 2, you can win the lottery, but you might have to win it more than once, because obviously if you win $1 million, you're only a third of what you owe. Last, you're just going to have to file bankruptcy and start all over again. And unfortunately, that's what I had to do. I had to file bankruptcy. I ruined and trashed my credit. Obviously, this was a pretty depressing time. I went from that house and everything. I used the last $1,000 I have to buy a $600 truck. And if you want to know what a $600 truck looks like, just picture the ugliest looking POS you've ever seen, and then take away all the nice stuff it has. I mean, it was bad. But that's where I was at. And I said, look, I've got to get out of this situation. I'll find a way out. So I sat down and I read the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 1971. I bought some credit repair books, and I pulled my credit the day out of bankruptcy. And of course, my credit scores were horrible. They were like 400, 400, 500. But I was determined to get out. So I created a 6-step system out of the books and the information I had read, and I walked through each one of the steps I laid out. And within 7 months of that bankruptcy, my credit scores had jumped to a 691, just over 700, and a 729. What was the result of that? I was qualified for just about anything I wanted to do. Everything was cleared up. And everybody that I knew in the mortgage business and everybody that I knew in the real estate business came and asked me how I did it. So I got known in the industry as the credit guy that had the 6-step system. And it's free. I'll give it to anybody who wants it. But I had some knowledge people didn't have. I had some connections people didn't have. And I had some time people didn't have to do it. December of 2017, just recently, two friends of mine, Jeff Johnson out of Louisville and James Johnson out of Atlanta, gave me a call and said, hey, we found this credit company that helps people get their credit back together and we want you to take a look at it. And I was like, sure. So James got on the phone and described to me a company out of Farmington Hills, Michigan that started doing credit repair in 2004. Same two guys who started the company are still there doing the same thing. And 4 years ago, they actually broke off and started an outside sales force for this company. The service, not only does it do credit, but it's called the Protection Plan Membership, and there's a bunch of stuff packaged under their membership. One is the credit repair. Two is they have credit attorneys on staff to help out with like litigation and payment plans. Three, they have a credit builder program to actually help you put credit on your credit and increase your limits. Four, they have something called Smart Credit, which is like Credit Karma. It gives you all three of your credit bureaus and your scores and instant updates. Five, they partnership with LifeLock, #1 identity theft marketed program in the United States. Six, a company called FES Debt Zero. Debt Zero meaning it helps you find a way to get out of debt. It's a spreadsheet that basically locks in what to do in what order. Seven, My Care Plan, which is another service that helps with your will and your trust. Obviously a letter everybody needs at one point in their life. They just help you knock it out, what to do and how to do it, along with counseling on what's going on. Financial Lockbox is #8. Financial Lockbox is a file in cyberspace where you can upload every single important document that you'd ever need if you were ever going to start over again. So in case of a fire, in case of theft, in case you moved, in case somebody passed away, you can actually press a button and get all that information back. And it also has a beneficiary that you can fill their information out in case something happens to you. The rest of the service has to do with saving money. There's a website that's specific for FES to save money. There's one for travel, and there's another one for name brand prescriptions. 15 to 80% off name brand prescriptions. And then the last service is an education where they go in and they actually teach kids about money and finance, which would be good to know. So that whole package called the Protection Plan Membership is $89 a month, and there's a one-time $99 sign-up fee. So it's $188 to get started in the program and $89 a month. How fast does it work was a question I had, and they said, look, when you enter into the system and you put all your information in the computer, about a week later they send you a packet in the mail based on what's wrong with your report. You don't have to know it. The computer tells you what to do. You have a packet with 3 different packets in it. One packet goes to TransUnion, one to Experian, one to Equifax, the 3 credit bureaus. You just take the packets out, basically sign them, put it in an envelope, mail them off. So I did this. I was skeptical. I didn't believe, I believed my friends, knew something, but I was like, I've never seen something that was automated that was this fluid. So I turned my stuff in December. The end of January, I got an update on my phone. The update was from FES, the company, Financial Education Services. It says your credit score has increased 41 points. I'll be honest, I was excited, but I was still skeptical. I went to another application that I have on my phone, and I pulled it up, and I was like, well, I wonder if it's the same on this one. And my credit score had increased 41 points there. At that point, I got all the information back in the mail, and I was pretty amazed that I had not spoke to a single individual, and this was working. At that point, I got back on the phone with James and Jeff, and I said, okay, I know this company is expanding. They're looking for 3 types of people. Who are you guys looking for? They said, #1, we're looking for somebody to sell that program. And the compensation plan is really simple. Out of that $188 that's collected in the beginning, corporate actually takes $100 of it and pays you a $100 commission per person. They additionally pay you $12 of every membership. Every membership, every month that it gets paid, $12. So if you sign up 10, you have $120 coming in every month as long as they make their payments. But it is month to month, so you will have to replace any customers that fall off the books. Obviously, if you want to keep that money coming in. I was like, okay, that makes sense. The second type of person they're looking for is business to business. We can set up corporate accounts auto dealerships, mortgage companies, real estate companies, people like this, we can set them up into business. That all goes through corporate, so we want people, I mean, the company wants people who have experience doing that. And the third type of person that they were looking for fit me really good. They said, we need some recruiters and some trainers of the sales force. You know, somebody who can contact some people, share some information with them, bring them on board, get them to corporate, get them trained, and have them actually marketing this membership. So that's one of the things that interests me the most. There's more money to be made there than the other two combined. So that's a little bit about who we are. That's what we do. If you know, now that you know what we do, I mean, the main thing that we're asking is if you know Monica and, you know, you run into somebody who needs this, please send them her way. She'll help them out. If you have somebody who's interested in, you know, marketing or selling this program or even recruiting a team of people and building something significant income-wise, get her on the phone. If she can't answer it, she'll get me on the phone. I'll answer all your questions, and we look forward to talking to you if that's the case. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.